How do, guys? Issue 66. So today we have the Plague Marine icon bearer, who is on this sprue. We shall make him up in a minute. But let's have a quick look through the mag, see what we've got. In this issue, your Plague Marine icon bearer arrives with this issue, ready to bolster your Plague Marines with his icon of despair. This vile standard oozes an evil essence that poisons the hearts and minds of all those nearby. Foes flee from these effects, for not all of Nurgle's contagions affect the body. His followers spread diseases of the mind as well. In games, this is reflected with a negative penalty to enemy leadership characteristics, meaning that more foes will flee when a morale test is failed. To get this powerful benefit, we have included build and paint guides to prepare your Plague Marine icon bearer for the battlefield. So what have we got? So learn a little bit more about the Black Templars, Renegades of Nurgle. We've got chapters, the Annals of the Space Wolves, got factions, Craftworlds, the Eldari, and then we've got a Craftworld showcase. Then we've got a build guide and a paint guide for our model this week. Then we've got Rules Mission 50, opening the warp portal. And then we've got Plague Marines Death Guard 12, an updated data sheet for your Plague Marines with rules to add an icon of despair. So, the Black Templars are a successor chapter of the Imperial Fists. They are valiant warrior knights who have carved their names into legend through thousands of years of war, honour and sacrifice. They've embraced the worship of the Emperor as a god and fight in his name with a terrifying zeal. Okay. And then we've got more about their markings and different companies and that kind of thing. Then we've got Faction 2.1, the Forces of Nurgle, or the Renegades of Nurgle. The Death Guard are not the only Heretic Astartes warriors who worship Nurgle. Many other warbands of Renegade Chaos Space Marines have pledged their allegiance to his cause. Okay, so then we've got the Heretic Astartes of Nurgles, the Cleaved, the Purge, Deathmongers, and the Grey Death. Now we've got the Annals of Space Wolves. The Space Wolves can trace their glorious history back to the foundation of the Imperium and the terrible wars that were fought to protect it. Over the millennia, the Space Wolves, that's a difficult word to say when you've got a cold. Over the millennia, the Space Wolves have stayed true to their vow to fight in the name of their Primarch and the All-Father, and have defeated enemies of mankind on countless battles in honour of that oath. And then it's got some of their history, so from millennium 30 to 32, and then 32 up to 41. Now we've got Craftworlds, Forces of the Eldari. Of those Eldari fortunate enough to escape the fall of the Empire, the Starfaring Craftworlders are the most numerous. They're graceful and deadly warriors who fight to preserve the legacy of their race. And then also we've got a little bit more about them. So we've got the Biltan, the Ulthwe, the Ienden, the Siamhan, and the Alitoic, I believe I'm saying that right. Then we've got Mimera, Altensar, and Ilbrasil. Now we've got the showcase. This picture here, I'm pretty sure I've seen that in almost every book to do with the Eldari I've ever seen. But it's still impressive. And then it's got the colours of the Craftworlds, so all the different ones. Right, okay, so then we've got our build guide for the icon bearer. Then we've got his paint guide. So it looks pretty much well done there, considering we've only got, I think, 2 or 3 pots of paint to go. And I think one of those will even be a top-up. Right, so now we've got Rules Mission 50, opening the warp portal. Despite vicious fighting occurring around the Meyerfurt early in the invasion of Corvon II, the city was able to evacuate most of its citizens before the war escalated. The Ultramarines, seeing that the city had been abandoned, saw little point in defending it heavily, instead focusing their attentions on holding Barakius. So what have we got? Opening the portal. The Death Guard are in the process of opening a warp portal in the city of Meyerfurt. Using a twisted icon of Nurgle as a focus, the Space Marines must slay the icon bearer and stop the ritual before they find themselves overwhelmed by a horde of demonic creatures. So Space Marines deploy from either side. We get to choose which map we want on the external perimeters, but the Warzone 3 map needs to go in the middle. So the mission is designed to be played on 3 battle mats. Place the first mat as shown above and then roll off. The winner places their second mat and the loser places the third mat. You will need to mark out a 6-inch area on the centre of the board, which will serve as the Death Guard summoning circle. Finally place terrain on the second and third mats following the guide in tutorial 21. So the armies are, so it's a maximum power rating of 30. So the Death Guard have 3 command points, must include 1 malignant plague caster and one unit of 7 plague marines with the icon of despair. And the Space Marines, again, power rating of 30, 3 command points, and must include 1 Primaris librarian. The Death Guard deploy the plague marines and malignant plague caster inside the summoning circle. The rest of the Death Guard units move onto the board at the start of their movement phase. The Space Marine player deploys their units in their deployment zones. The Space Marine player takes the first turn. Victory conditions for the Death Guard player. The Plague Marine with the icon of despair must be within the summoning circle at the end of the game. If the Plague Marine with the icon of despair is eliminated or ends the game outside of the summoning circle, the Space Marine player wins the game. It lasts for 5 battle rounds. And then we've got our updated Plague Marines data sheet, which now includes our icon of despair. Okay, so what's coming up? Issue 67, we've got our snipers, our sniper scouts, which is cool. And in issue 68, we've got the Hemotrope Reactor. If you want to know what comes after 68, right through to the end, look at one of my videos that I put out a couple of weeks ago, which will give you all of the details of everything that's coming up for the rest of the run. Now let's build our icon of despair. Okay, let's take a look. So he's a very good model. Quite a good heft to him. So very good, and a nice addition in terms of changing the rules and affecting those leadership results and that kind of thing. So very good addition to the series so far. So I will see you in the next couple of days with an update on a breakdown of everything that we're going to see in Mortal Realms. And then I'll be back to you very soon with some Sniper Scouts next week. Thanks a lot, guys. See ya.